Hi, my name is Pedro Oliveira and I'm a Linux Professional Services Engineer at NXLog. Today we are going to give you some insights on how to integrate NXLog Platform collecting logs with Bacula Backup software. Going to the Bacula Backups documentation portal, we can check that Bacula generates the following type of messages. With NXLog, we are able to parse these messages, divide it by categories, and treat them, maybe also convert them to JSON or other format, and inject them in our SIEM system. There is 3 places that it's important to collect Bacula logs. The first one is located in Bacula working/bacula.log file. This is where Bacula Director, the main component of Bacula, will store the messages that occur during the backup process or restore. If you have events enabled, the audit events, it's also important to collect the file audit.log. Here, Bacula will archive all messages related to events such as reload, list volumes, commands, every command that occurs during the bconsole utilization. Bacula SD log is also an important file. Bacula's SD component is the main daemon that controls the place where you archive your data. It's the daemon that controls your tape library, your virtual tape library, or your cloud archive place. So Bacula SD logs is also an important log to collect. And finally, if you have GDB and for somehow your Bacula daemons crashes, Bacula will generate trace files. These trace files are very important, so you can also collect them in a way that you can inject them in a SIEM. So you can see that, for example, these logs that are generated are important also to be collected. So, ready to start collecting all logs with an NXLog platform? Let's get started. In order to collect logs from Bacula Community Edition server, we need to install an NXLog agent on the director server. To add an agent to our platform, it's very simple. We just need to click Add New Agent, select Linux, click Next, download the installer, and here we are related to the download area of our agents. NXLog has almost versions for all the flavors of Linux. In our case, it's Ubuntu 22. I select Ubuntu, click download, and we'll start the downloading process. Then we go back to our platform, click next, and we receive all the necessary steps that needs to be done to perform the installation of our agent. And the installation is very simple. Just need to copy, and as you can see, these are the packages needed for the agent installation. Because this is a Linux, normally you only need by default this first package, but if you want to, for example, collect logs from a Postgres database or a MySQL, you need to install the DBI package. Also, if you want to collect data from systemd, you also need to add this package. But by default, we just copy here the necessary step and we will install this NXLog version, and done. I already have installed before, but this is just to show you how easy it is to install an agent. After the installation is done, we need to restart the NXLog service. So we just type NXLog and we can see that is running. And the NXLog agent is going to contact the platform. And as you can see, the platform already detected that I have this Bacula Community Edition server ready to be enrolled in my platform. Now that we have our agent installed in the Bacula Community Edition server, we need to configure the agent to collect logs from Bacula. By default, Bacula stores the logs here in var log bacula.log. However, you can change this in Bacula configuration. A particularity of the Bacula logs is it's a multi-line log. So for each job that runs on Bacula, it will provide this kind of information. So as you can see, we have client, it means which client it was run, the Bacula jobs, the storage used, some nice information about the job that has run. For this example, I configured Bacula to provoke an error, and the only messages I want to collect is the ones that has this flag, fatal error. So I'm configuring NXLog Agent to collect all the logs, but it will only select this one to be stored. The ones that has fatal error indicates the data and the job ID. All this information, it will be dropped. In a sense, I will save archiving log size because I'm deprecating all this information that I don't want. And I'm only selecting fatal error, job ID, and the message. So how I'm doing this? So we need to go to configurations overview, add a new configuration. Because as I mentioned before, Bacula stores the log file in that Bacula log file. So I will select collect from file, drop it, configure it. So the file is this one. Change the name. I'll set it director log. And from now on, I'm configuring the agent to read that file. And I want to store my messages in the NXLog platform. So I will select send to NXLog platform. I want this information to be stored in a JSON format. So I will choose the JSON module and I will add it here. So let's see what's happening behind the scenes. So basically, I'm collecting the Bacula log, indicating that is a file, and sending to our NXLog platform. So this is a simple way to configure our information. However, I want, as I mentioned before, I want to only select the message fatal error. So to do that, I will take advantage of the module of NXLog called the multi-line parser. So the multi-line parser has this nice directive header line. So it's this directive will take the string or a regular expression and it will match it against each line. So every line that is going to match is going to check for the regular expression, and if it matches, it will pick it up so we can be parsed. Okay, so I'm going to use this multi-line. Just to give you an example of the possibilities of the multi-line, for example, here Imagine that I have this kind of log file. With the multi-line, I can transform it and do an output like this. Also, it's possible to do similar for the network cards. For example, you have a log file like this on your switch or on your firewall, and then you can transform this uh, log in something like this, better organized. In my case, I already have my regular expressions done. So what I'm going to do is the following. So I will change to configuration text, and I will copy my regular expressions, and I will put it here. So as you can see, basically what I'm doing here is using the multi-line module, and whenever NXLog agent finds a message like this one with the date and the hour, it will capture it so we can parse it. Okay, so if it finds something like this, it will ignore. Okay, so it only picks these messages. Why? Because I just want to get the fatal error and the job ID. So now I will add a little more information to my file. Let me just organize this in a better way. First, I set the other line, and now I'm inside the director log module. I will add the following code. So, what has it in here is every time he finds a message that it starts with the date, it will capture and it will get that message to be parsed. Okay. So every time he finds on that this message the word fatal or error, then he will process the message in a way that will capture the time, the component, the job ID of the Bacula, job ID, and the message. Okay, so this is what is going to happen behind the scenes. And also, I'm adding some event time. Also, you can do some more job details if you want. So I created also this one, and if it's not inside these job details, it will drop. Okay, so basically, what happens here, I can delete this first one, is if the raw event has fatal error, okay, it will execute this. If not, it will drop. So what's happening is NXLog is going to read this, is going to find these two words, and it will parse it. Everything else, it will drop it. Okay. So feel free to build your own regular expressions and to see the powerful features that NXLog agent has. So you can also build your own settings to collect, for example, the FD bytes written and do um, some calculations, okay, and do some average, so you can see the average of backups done by bytes, for example, or any kind of information. But on this case, for this specific example, I just want to collect the fatal error and which kind of job ID um, is with a fatal error. So let's go back. So my what I do here will reflect in the graphical user interface. So as you can see now, I have an exec statement. So if I click here, there is my code. Okay. So I will save this configuration. Sorry, need to set a name. So we'll say like backups messages. Fatal collect ID and save my configuration. And now I have here my backups messages. I will apply to my agent. So my agent is this one. So I will assign it. Assign the configuration, backup messages. Let's do a refresh of the status. So if I click here, I'm able to see statistics. So currently my model is running and it doesn't receive any kind of events. So I will simulate and you're going to see I configured Bacula Community Edition to provoke an error. So every time he runs, is going to have a fatal error. Okay, so let's run a backup job to see. So as you can see, as the fatal error. Okay, so Bacula is going to provoke this error. Let's see, it takes a little time. If I do a LL list job log of ID equal to 30, we will see fatal error here. So, and it's already finished with a fatal error. So if I go here, let's see on the statistics side. So as you can see here, NXLog Agent has received 6 messages, dropped 4, and only forwards to be archived the 2 messages that has the fatal error. Doing a log search, if I go to Bacula director, I'm able to see my messages, my host name, and the job ID and the fatal error message. So this is a really nice way to collect the logs of your backups information, backups environment. Nevertheless, you can go here to NXLog website and see all the possibilities and all the integrations that you can have inside your organization. So you can integrate NXLog with a bunch of applications. Okay, so, and if you need some help how to understand better how NXLog can be a value in your organization, please feel free to contact us at nxlog.co. Thank you.